Hey guys! So you may have noticed that Pikachu is on the laptop today. It's because he's watching Thor. See, he's a bit envious that Thor is a god, and he isn't, even though they have kind of the same powers. So don't be too surprised if lightning starts striking on the building. But don't say too much about that to him. Don't want him to have that. They turn violent. But that's not the subject of today's video. Basically, I've had some pretty bad experiences with scary films. I say scary films because usually they aren't scary, and basically I just make myself look like a complete idiot. For instance, there's only one film which I have walked out of, and that's... I don't know how to say this. Okay. I walked out of Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. I walked out of a PG-rated film. Well, I was only 7. No, Ross. It was PG, you have no excuses. But PG. Okay. Exactly. Well then, why don't you tell them about Star Wars then? Oh, that? They don't need to know about that. Okay, fine, I'll tell you. I went to see the 3rd Star Wars. Beforehand, I'd seen the 4th, the 5th, and the 6th, and throughout it, they weren't very violent, they weren't gory, they didn't have much decapitation in them, they were all pretty low-key in terms of violence. But for me, seeing someone having their hands and their head cut off within the first 15-20 minutes, it was a little bit too much. So basically I ended up going to the toilet so much that I could have filled the entire cinema. Hang on, now I say it, that is a really weird comparison, and I'm not going to say that again. I mean, I know you are probably sitting there thinking, please Ross, please stop now, you're just completely ruining your dignity. But my dignity died a long time ago, so it's fine, I will just continue. So that leads us on to films which are more likely to be classed as scary, I guess. For example, I couldn't last more than 20 minutes watching Final Destination. I only got to the part where the guy gets strangled in his bath. That was as far as I got in that film, and I'm never watching any of them again. But comparing that to Paranormal Activity is really funny because I found Paranormal Activity utterly hilarious. Basically, if you haven't seen Paranormal Activity, then just imagine Ghost Hunters on a big screen. If you watch Ghost Hunters on your home cinema screen, then you might as well just leave now. At the start of the film, there's this little message that comes up basically saying that this story is true and all of this actually happened. But some people actually believed that that message was real and was telling the truth. I mean, what? Knowing me, this is probably never going to happen, so if this is my last video, then it was really nice knowing you. But there's a karma-filled tale of my experience with Paranormal Activity. Basically, throughout the entire film, I was just sitting watching it like, ooh, she's possessed, ah! And she was put in a cupboard. Apart from the bit where they killed the dog. Dude, you killed the dog! Why? But mainly taking the mick and just finding it completely ridiculous. But when it came to me going to sleep, now that was a whole different ballgame. What was that? And I'd basically spend the entire night just sitting like, it's not real. It's not real. It's not real. While waiting to avoid friggin' objects flying through the air and hands grabbing my ankles to drag me into the shoe cupboard. So, as you can tell, I'm a pretty easily terrified person. Oh man. Pikachu. What a way to end the video. I'm guessing you and Thor are never going to be best buddies, are you? Jeez, oh. Yeah. Just hit the building with lightning, why don't you? Yes, he looks satisfied, doesn't he?